Sports Talk Fantasy Club. Today we're going to be talking about whether Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb are sustainable in non-PPR leagues. I'm Brandon Schiffman.
And I'm Spencer Stein. I mean, their RBs 2 and 4 in fantasy. They're somewhat touchdown dependent, but I think it's been long enough to see that they're both sustainable. Yeah. But a lot of people still want to trade them high in PPR leagues. So do you think that's the move?
I think that it's one of those things where these guys are both going to present tremendous value, no matter whether it's a PPR league, half PPR league, no PPR league, whatever it is. Just based on the volume that they have and their role in their offense.
The value is very different in a non-PPR league. In a non-PPR league, I think I put them 1 and 2. In a PPR league, I put them 4 and 5.
Yeah. So I think that honestly, their role in their offense is very telling in that sense. In the sense that the Tennessee Titans at least don't have really much of a passing game. We've seen it the past few weeks. Derrick Henry's their entire offense against the Chiefs. He had 2 touchdowns, and just when in doubt, they just ran the ball to him. Nick Chubb, kind of similar. I'd say they have a better passing game overall, but Nick Chubb's still receiving the volume he needs. So I'd say they're sustainable just no matter what. I don't necessarily think you need to trade him.
I mean, yeah, they're probably running backs 4 and 6, I think, in fantasy. So obviously they're sustainable from here on out. I like Eckler, Saquon, and McCaffrey's top 3. Then I'd probably like Henry, Kamara, Chubb. But realistically, I wouldn't necessarily sell high on Henry. I think he's at his value. And when you look at his playoff schedule, he's got Jacksonville week 14, and then Chargers, Houston, Dallas for the playoffs. That's pretty easy. And the Titans' passing game is not improving at all.
No, it's off.
Nick Chubb, on the other hand, they kept Kareem Hunt. They don't utilize him in the passing game at all. And he's kind of overachieved. And whenever someone overachieves, there's always a fear they'll regress to the mean. On top of it, they're on bye, or they're coming off a bye, and Deshaun Watson's coming back. Who knows what that's going to do to their passing game? I think there's still more question marks around Nick Chubb. I would bet he stays as a top 10 running back from here on out. But I think if you could get him, if you could trade him at top 3 RB value, if you could get a guy like Dameon Pierce and a top receiver, someone a little lower in the running backs, 2 guys, if you need a spark plug, that's good value. I just think that there's still a good chance Chubb has hit his peak this season. Yeah. He is touchdown dependent. If this offense starts throwing more touchdowns, if they regress as an offense completely, who knows what happens to Nick Chubb. Derrick Henry, the role is going to be there no matter what.
For sure.
Chubb, I'm not so sure, but I think there's no reason to worry about either of these guys, even in a PPR league. In a non-PPR, obviously, these are 2 GOATs.
Yeah, for sure. I think that honestly, Chubb's value is very much based on, like you said, the touchdowns and just the volume. Even with Kareem Hunt, the least rushes he's gotten in a game is 12, and the most he's gotten is 23. So the volume's there, and it's anywhere in that range. So I think that that's safe. The issue is whether or not you fear the lack of touchdowns, because if he doesn't have touchdowns, he's more likely to score, 13 points.
And that's exactly what we see happening to Dameon Pierce. Dameon Pierce has been probably the best rookie running back. I'd say he's honestly been better than Kenneth Walker. It's neck and neck.
Brees Hall's
hurt, obviously. I mean, last week on Thursday night, I got 27 carries. That's utterly insane. But he had 14 points because he didn't have a reception, he didn't have a touchdown. Yeah. So that's the type of production I think we would see out of Nick Chubb if what you said happens. Yeah. But I want to talk about Dameon Pierce for a second. I think he's reliable. You have to worry that he's not going to end up getting receptions or touchdowns because that offense sucks. And in that case, he's going to be getting 12 points a game. But if he could throw in a touchdown, he's been getting a couple receptions a game. If he could throw those in, he could be a 20-point per game scorer. So realistically, I think Dameon Pierce could be the next Derrick Henry, fantasy-wise. I don't see him going off like Henry did 3 years ago, but the type of production Henry has this year, top 5, not necessarily a PPR guy, I think Dameon Pierce has that potential in the next few years.
Yeah, so since week 5, so they had 5 against Jacksonville, then Las Vegas, Tennessee, then Philly.
Yeah.
He's averaged roughly 22 carries per game.
Yeah.
That's a ton. When the touchdowns start coming in, as their offense gets more efficient, I think they'll score more touchdowns. He'll be the beneficiary of that.
And also, last week specifically, no receptions. He's been getting 3 a game. So if he could get 3 receptions and a touchdown
and
along with his yards
off the reception.
Exactly. He's great. So I like Dameon Pierce. I like Nick Chubb. I like Derrick Henry. A little bit worrisome in PPR leagues. The only guy, though, I think I'd sell high is Nick Chubb.
Yeah, for sure.